Hello and welcome back to the Concept Checkup. The point of Concept Checkup is to dive into the Warframe forums, look for a community-made Warframe concept, and talk about it. For the purpose of Concept Checkup, I will use my custom-built evaluating method known as AS. Without further ado, let's begin the checkup. Have you ever been attracted to the random yet painful qualities of RNGsus? If so, Quantas is the Warframe for you. Quantas was created by Ashval on the Warframe forums, who can basically be described as the physical manifestation of RNGsus. Quantas is a frame focused around support, and in terms of stats is actually not that weak, with average health, average armor, high shields, and above average energy capacity, and an above average sprint speed. Before I go further into Quantas's kit, his mechanics do revolve around randomness, so if that drives you insane, I suggest you not be interested in Quantas anymore. Quantas does not have a specified passive, but I will assume that it's the ability to be the embodiment of RNGsus. Quantas's first ability is Proc dice. Quantas targets an enemy and they take between 350 to 500 damage, with a 100% proc chance. The proc is randomized between the 11 proc types of puncture, impact, slash, heat, cold, toxin, electricity, gas, corrosive, viral, and radiation. This is Quantas's bread and butter damage ability, which is a good and bad thing. It's good because Quantas can reliably deal a fair amount of damage with a simple target, but it's bad because the proc is randomized. Proc dice could either help you or hinder you in a fight, such as giving you an impact proc against a Grineer target. I suppose it can be excused, because after all, this frame is built entirely around RNG. Quantas's second ability is Quantum Impedance. Upon activation, Quantum Impedance can have one of two effects. There is a 50% chance that Quantum Impedance will create an AO zone around Quantas that slows enemies, and the other 50% chance Quantum Impedance will create an AO zone around Quantas that increases the move and attack speed of allies. Despite being a heads or tails ability, Quantum Impedance is actually not that bad. Since Quantas is not a squishy frame, he won't be down constantly by enemies if he gets the slowing field from Quantum Impedance, so no matter which of the two abilities Quantas gets, it will always be of use. Quantas's third ability is Amplify. Upon activation, Amplify randomly increases the damage of either his primary, secondary, or melee weapon by 100%. The chosen weapon category is random, and only one weapon can be amplified at a time. Amplify is also a recastable ability. To me, Amplify feels like what Rift Surge should have been. Even though the damage buff only applies to Quantas, the buff it provides helps Quantas in a pinch against high-level enemies, and even though it applies to a random weapon he's carrying, he's not limited to being in the Rift, unlike Limbo. Amplify could be better if the random buff applied to Quantas's entire team rather than just himself, because it doesn't make sense for a supportive frame to have a self-only buff. Quantas's fourth ability is Quantum Entanglement, a toggle skill. Quantum Entanglement causes Quantas to bind all nearby enemies to himself, who will take all procs and 50% of all damage Quantas deals to a single enemy. Quantum Entanglement is basically the offensive version of Trinity's Link, because rather than splitting the damage taken among enemies, it distributes all procs and 50% of all damage dealt among enemies. Even though it drains a large amount of energy per second, I like Quantum Entanglement as Quantas's fourth ability, as I can imagine being able to easily take down crowds could be a saving grace to a squad. Despite all that, Quantas does have his problems, besides his lack of a passive. For starters, Quantas is forced to rely on his proc dice to consistently deal damage, even if he combines it with his Quantum Entanglement. However, if he gets a proc that deals less damage against an enemy type he's fighting, it can be of little use to himself and his squad. In addition, the energy drained from Quantum Entanglement is a bit too high for what it does, which can easily make a foolish Quantas player drain his entire energy supply, making Trinity a mandatory support for a support frame. With that in mind, here are Quantas's scores. Quantas is that kind of frame where it's pretty difficult to decide whether you like him or hate him. Sure, His kit can be useful, but the times that it harms rather than helps a squad can be off-putting for some. I know that Quantas is an RNG frame, but his kit seems a little too chaotic for a frame design. For my personal thoughts, I enjoy the idea of an RNG frame to go along with the RNG of Warframe. I want to like Quantas as he is right now, but the sheer hit-or-miss mechanics that he has just don't make it for me. I'm sure that if put into practice he can be a fun frame to play, but for now I'm not exactly sold on him. So that's Quantus's checkup. Tune in next time where I will perform a concept checkup on Nebula. Thank you for watching.